94.7, today's Sunny 95.
Welcome to The Reasons We Smile with Dr. Kvitko, the show that brings you man-on-the-street interviews, celebrity guests, groundbreaking research, and heartwarming stories about the reasons we smile. Our show is also known as everything you've always wanted to know about dentistry, but we're too numb to ask. Hello, I'm General Dentist Dr. Kvitko, and thank you for joining me today.
The following views and opinions do not necessarily reflect those of this station, its staff, management, or parent company. To hear a replay of this show or one of the great shows that previously aired, log on to thereasonswesmile.com or iTunes, keyword Dr. Kvitko or The Reasons We Smile. Listeners should not use Dr. Kvitko's comments and advice in place of an actual dental exam.
Brighten your life with a smile that shows the professional touch of Dr. Kvitko.
Time now for The Reasons We Smile with Dr. Kvitko. Call 459-9769 to discuss your dental issues. Now, here's your host, Dr. Kvitko.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to The Reasons We Smile. I'm Dr. Kvitko. This is episode number 589. Thank you so much for joining me. Today's show is going to be a week in my life as a dentist. All right, we're going to go through my appointment book, basically, and kind of enlighten you as to what I did last week, which I think is interesting because it's varied, and we can talk about the certain situations that arose last week. Before we get started, let me remind you, if you'd like to follow me on Twitter, it's at Dr. Kvitko. And if you'd please go to my office Facebook page and like us, that would be awesome. All past episodes, complete with video, are available at thereasonswesmile.com, and we're streaming live on Facebook. I want to remind everyone that in about 10 minutes, we're going to give away free flowers. They'll be from DeSantis Florist. And all you have to do is listen a little bit, and you'll hear the answer before we even give you the question. And it's easy. You just have to call in. If you want to pre-program that number into your phone, it's 614-459-9769. Don't call yet, though, but that'll be the number. Okay, so for our Facebook friends, I'm going to hold up like this is basically my office schedule. And I have a Monday, a Tuesday, a Wednesday, a Thursday, and a Friday with me. And we're going to go over what I did, and I think that maybe people don't understand exactly what a dentist's life really is like. Probably think we just do fillings and clean teeth and go home. It's not that simple. And in fact, when I leave here today, and this show is live, I'm currently in the studio. You could walk up to the studio window and wave if you want. I'm going to the office. Sunday morning, I'm going to the office at 9 to take care of a gentleman who has an emergency need for a root canal. And so it is not just an 8 to 5 job, at least not for me. Anyway, okay, so let's start with Monday. This past Monday, almost a week ago, 6 days ago, started off by doing a couple crowns on a young lady. I'm going to call her Louise. I'm making up names, of course. Although, even if I didn't give first and last, you probably wouldn't know, but I'd rather not anybody put two and two together. So, anyway, this young lady, she's only about 24, and she came to me because she had an extraction done at another office, and they prepared the other two teeth on either side for a bridge. So they ground down two perfectly good teeth for a bridge on a 24-year-old, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. But that's not why she came to me. We'll talk about that in a minute. She came because she was having this unexpected pain and a sharpness to her tongue. And so when we got her in the chair, we took an x-ray, and we found that the dentist taking out her tooth didn't get it all. They'd left a portion of one of the roots, but in trying to get it, they had taken and cut through the bone on the tongue side, underneath the gum, just literally cut right through the bone. And so there was a sharp edge of bone that was rubbing her tongue and was hurting like crazy. And so remember, the issue wasn't that a piece of tooth was left, the issue was they'd cut through the jawbone. So what we had to do is get the tooth out, the remaining portion of that tooth, and then I had to kind of create an inside wall of bone for her on the tongue side by putting some 6-month collagen and some bone particles and stitched it in there and try to get a nice smooth edge and give it time for new bone to grow. But that's not what we were doing on this day. This day I talked to her, I said, rather than cutting these two teeth down, you probably should have just had an implant here. I don't know why the dentist did that on such a young lady. I have a suspicion because, bridges are quick and easy. It's easy money and fast money, sadly to say. Implant is you take the tooth out, you have to wait 3 months, then you put the implant in, and that dentist may or may not have done implants. My guess would be no. And so then they would have had to been sent to someone who does, like a neurosurgeon, or maybe even myself, and then wait 3 months for that to heal before the dentist would be able to do the crown. So that's what I'm thinking. But anyway, what I said to her was, why have 2 teeth do the work of 3 if you don't have to? So we went ahead and put some nice crowns on those 2 teeth, and now after her bone heals, we're going to place an implant and do it that way. So, right after that, I had this woman who had decay under a couple old silver fillings. Now, when I can tell decay, I take a picture, and you can see like a little halo of darkness, and I always take the pictures mostly so I can show the patient, because I know what's under there, but I don't know that people always know if I know what's under there, if that makes any sense. It's like, there is this sense that your dentist tells you things just because he or she has a boat payment coming due, let's put it that way, And I quickly tell people that my boat is paid for, my car is paid for, has nothing to do with that. It's just, this is cavity, this is what decay looks like. So we went ahead and numbed her up, and we took out the silver filling, and sure enough, there were these huge black holes under there, more than even I expected, to be honest. I took a picture of that as well, and I showed it to her, and so it makes her feel good about her decision. It was kind of deep. The one was so deep, I was wondering myself, are we getting close to the nerve? Meaning, would I be having to tell her she needed a root canal when I hadn't planned on it? And I hate when that happens, because that can feel like I'm piling on, right? That can feel like he was a little dishonest. He should have told me I needed the root canal at the beginning. But anyway, it turns out she didn't need it, but she asked me that, and I told her what I just said to you. She goes, because I was starting to get a little bit of a sensation back there, and I wasn't sure, but maybe that was it. And I said, probably. So, we probably avoided a root canal for this woman, because we told her we found decay, and she said yes and got it done. Okay? Now, before that, well, at the same time as that first patient with the 2 crowns, we had a young lady in, had to make her a new retainer, new orthodontic retainer. You may know we do orthodontics. Also, we had another orthodontic patient come in just to kind of check on how things are moving, her brackets for elastic bands, making sure that we are keeping everything nice and snug and tight and that the teeth continue to move. After that, I had a patient come in and she needed a crown. So when I do a crown, I have to take off the old filling completely. I get rid of any decay. Then I recreate the tooth. I recreate the filling, but I usually put a pin or 2, like rebar and concrete. These little pins are screwed right into the dentin. So it's kind of tricky to do. You have to stay away from the nerve, and you have to make sure it's not sticking out the outside of the tooth. But if you get that right, which we do, it's a really big important step to making this last for years and years and years. So that one was a little bit mundane, but that's what we do when we do a crown. And then after this, and then the next gentleman, he came in for 5, well, he needed 6 fillings. And he just wanted to have, what did he decide? He just wanted to have 3 of them. Because he hates coming to the dentist, and he doesn't want to be in the chair any longer than he has to. And that's okay. I think it's a little odd that you would want to come in and be numbed twice. But because mostly that's what people don't like, right, is the feeling and the getting the shot and all that. But anyway, so we're going to have to come back, and he's coming back another day, and we're going to do the other 3 that he needs. I had another woman come in. All she had was one little tiny filling, but she too is nervous. And she wanted to have laughing gas. Her husband comes with her. He sits in the chair. We have a chair in the corner, and he sits basically at her feet, and he holds her toe. He said to me, Dr. Kvitko, I think you need to get a professional toe holder. He was serious, I think, because it made his wife feel more calm because he was holding her toe. Not rubbing her feet, but just holding her toe. I think she must have had sandals on. So anyway, I go, well, I'd be happy to do that if I thought it would work, but these days that would probably get me arrested. Yeah, and then he held my toe. So anyway, okay. The next gentleman that came in, by the way, we started at 7:30, and I've just now worked my way up to, and that woman with the little filling and the laughing gas, she also had oral sedation. So she came in early. The way we did it on her, we knew we had this filling to do, so she came in at 9:30. We gave her oral sedation. She had her teeth cleaned and examined at 10, and then at 11 is when, I'm sorry, not 11. Yeah, at 11 is when I did that filling with her husband holding her toe. Okay, so now it's 12:30 in the afternoon on Monday, last Monday, and I have a gentleman come in, and I numbed him up. We gave him oral sedation as well because we extracted 16 teeth. 18 teeth. I said that wrong. 18 teeth. And that sounds scary, doesn't it? It should, you know. Try not to get yourself in a situation where you ever have to have 18 teeth extracted. That would be a good thing. But in the event that you didn't find us soon enough, well, we can handle that. So I made him what's called an immediate denture. He'd come in about a week and a half prior. We did impressions of his teeth and his upper and lower and a bite record. And I sent that off to my dental lab with special instructions to match the teeth to what he looked like when he was younger, when his, like a wedding photo we usually ask for, or a graduation photo from high school or whatever. And so it's funny because he came in a day or two before this extraction appointment and he wanted to see his teeth. Wanted to see if he'd like them, which I think was very thoughtful on his part, because, you know, he wouldn't have a chance to change it up if we'd already taken the teeth out. And he liked what he saw and came in on that Monday. And so we're talking about Monday the 22nd of April, and we extracted 18 of his teeth, well, which was the remaining 18. By the way, people have 32 teeth, so 18 is more than half of them. He only had he'd already had 14 extracted though before over time. Okay, so anyway, things went really well. We took those teeth out. We put his dentures in. They work a little bit like a Band-Aid, you know. They're not. They kind of control the bleeding, and I tell people wear them for the first week. Well, he came in about 6 days later. Didn't make it a full week. He was having a little bit of a sore spot, and so we adjusted it. But this man is so happy. I can't tell you. He shook my hand, gave me a hug, one of those big bear hug kind of things, and he goes, "You're awesome," you know. And of course, I love telling that story. Luckily, he didn't say I was a schmuck, and I probably would have had to tell that story too, but I didn't have to do that. Okay, same day, 2 o'clock the same day, we have a gentleman come in. Lower left tooth broke. He thought a filling fell out. It was the opposite. The tooth had broken. Filling was still there, but it broke so badly that we needed a crown, and that was a little bit of a challenge for him as far as cost, you know, because a filling's cheaper than a crown, but that's what he needed. And it took a little bit for him to work out the financing portion of it, but he did. And then we got that done. And then in the meantime, a woman came in. I'd done a gum graft on her 7 days prior. We were checking on her, taking out her stitches. It looked pretty good. And then we had another orthodontic check where we were, in, by the way, this case, her ortho that I'm doing is a removable appliance. She wanted her teeth straightened, but she didn't want anything glued to her teeth. You probably didn't realize we could do orthodontics with a removable appliance. And I'm not talking about Invisalign now. I'm talking about a little appliance that has little finger springs on it that she can take out when she chooses or just take out when she wants. And then lastly, we did a graft on a gentleman on his top left. And the interesting thing about this is normally we take gum tissue from the roof of the mouth, from underneath the roof of the mouth. And in his case, I was able to do one without having to borrow that tissue. I was able to access enough connective tissue from the actual area. And so they only had one surgical site. So I thought that was kind of neat, and he was appreciative. And in the meantime, my hygienist saw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other people, which I had to go in and say hi and goodbye to, and, you know, check and make sure they didn't need anything, which many of them did. Okay, sounds like a busy week, right? Well, that was Monday. Anyway, let me remind you that, remember what I said about the guy who had his teeth extracted? There were 18 teeth that we took out. So, we're going to do Dr. Kvitko's question of the day right now, but before we do, we'd like you to listen to this.
This station will not be held liable for any contesting during The Reasons We Smile with Dr. Kvitko. Participation in the contest allows Dr. Kvitko to record and broadcast your name and call. One winner per household. Prizes are non-transferable, cannot be substituted, and are subject to taxes and fees. This station cannot be responsible for the inability to enter the contest, whether due to equipment malfunction or telephone difficulties. All decisions of Dr. Kvitko concerning this contest or eligibility are final.
And now it's time for Dr. Kvitko's question of the day.
All right, if you're just joining us, you know that what we're doing today is a week in the life of Dr. Kvitko as a dentist, okay? So on Monday, there was a gentleman that came in, and we took out several teeth. How many did I take out? Was it 1? I guess I gave that away when I said several, so A can't be the answer, can it? I should have reworded it. Was it B, 2 teeth that I took out? C, 18 teeth? Or D, 32 teeth? All right. The winner's going to receive free flowers from DeSantis Florist. The number to call is 614-459-9769. 614-459-9769. So go ahead and call now. Okay, my producer's taking phone calls, and so that means he forgot to push the button. Hey, producer guy, can you push the button, please? He's talking to people on the phone. Okay, you remember what we're doing? Go to stop set 1.
You won't believe it though. I wanna hear your mind, and there's nothing else in the world tonight. She said, people don't take the time. Hey, people don't take the time.
Hi, I'm Keith Carlos, winner of America's Next Top Model and star of Chocolate City 2. Look for my smile on the big screen this summer, courtesy of Dr. Kvitko. Stay tuned to The Reasons We Smile with Dr. Kvitko, the world's most interesting dentist.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kvitko, general dentist and host of the Reasons We Smile radio and roadshow. Did you know that you no longer need to visit several different dental professionals to get more complete dental care? We handle everything from cleanings and orthodontics to restoration, implants, and smile makeovers, all in my office. And now we have 2 locations. Get the most advanced technology and procedures available today. It's more complete dentistry.
Visit worldsmostinterestingdentist.com for more info about Dr. Kvitko.
Dr. Kvitko! Let's go!
Hi, this is Richard Simmons. Dr. Kvitko's here, and he's going to help you with all of your problems. Are your teeth yellow? He can fix that. Are you missing a tooth? He can put a new one in. How is that?
That's very good. Thank you, Richard. All right, we're back. We're doing Dr. Kvitko's question of the day. The phones were lighting up so much that I think my producer left my microphone on, so you heard me asking him for line 2 and that sort of thing. So that's kind of cool. We told you it's live, didn't we? Anyway, so I'll tell you what. Let's go to line 3, which is Craig. Craig, do you have the right answer? Oh, you got to push line 3 over there.
Yeah.
Oh, good. So what is it?
18.
18 teeth. That's right. Craig, what do you do for a living?
Disabled.
Oh, but what did you used to do?
I used to move people for a living.
Oh, like moving their furniture and stuff?
Yep.
Oh, cool. Too bad you're retired and disabled. I'm going to need some of that soon. Maybe you can send me some of your friends. Anyway, Greg, thank you for calling in and for listening, and please stay on the line, okay? We want to get you those flowers from DeSantis.
Sure.
Okay, great. All right, and to the others, let's see, Marjorie and Cindy and John, try next week, okay? I appreciate you guys listening and calling in. So I'm going to hand this sheet back to my producer, and let's go back to a week in the life of me, Dr. Kvitko, as a dentist. As I think it's pretty clear we're not going to make it through the whole week, but I just think some of these situations and stories are interesting. Hopefully you find them that way as well. So then Tuesday morning at 7:30, we had a young lady come in, and we did oral sedation on her, very, very nervous. It's my first time sedating her, and so I had to guess, the correct dose. And hey, Craig, he's going to be with you in just a second. He's pushing some buttons, and then he's coming to you. And so anyway, and so I guessed a dose, and it turns out it was perfect. I mean, she wasn't too sedated. She was very relaxed. Of course, I know this because I asked her. And we were doing a gum graft. She's never had any surgery on her mouth before, other than maybe third molar removal, wisdom teeth. But for that, we put her to sleep. So anyway, she was pretty nervous. And then but it went really well. Her mom brought her. This young lady's probably 26, 28. But her mom brought her. Mom's also a patient, and Mom went and got her prescriptions, and then came back, which is something we like to do, so you don't have to stop at the pharmacy on your way home. And then when we finished with her graft, we had this lady come in. She had what she called a hole under a crown that was done about 7 years ago. Now, we did the crown, but what it was there was this little gap that had developed, and I don't know really what caused it, but it was a root canal tooth, so we didn't even have to numb her, but we placed a filling right in between the tooth and the crown. I wanted to be real careful not to damage the porcelain, and we didn't. Then the next lady that came in, she was so happy because she just needed 2 fillings, but they were the small kind without having already been filled with silver. And so we were able to use our laser. We were able to use the Soleo laser. So the Soleo laser, we've had it for 2.5 years. Its claim to fame is it will actually prepare teeth. We can cut tooth structure away and prepare your tooth completely without having to use a needle or using a drill. And she was so happy to give that a try because, like many of you, she doesn't like the needle and doesn't like the sound of the drill either. But I always have the numbing ready to go in case for some reason you happen to be one of the people where the numbing the laser doesn't quite numb your tooth. Now keep in mind, not everybody gets numbed the way others, and so there are people where the numbing doesn't work as well, and we have to do it a second time or a third or try a different way. So, but the Soleo laser is pretty cool, and we're really happy to be able to offer it. Okay, that was at 10. At 10:30 in the morning, we had a gentleman, I almost gave his name accidentally. 1 week prior, we had taken out a wisdom tooth. It was a pretty involved wisdom tooth, crooked roots and pretty buried. And it was a little bit of a rough visit for him. It was we sedated him, so not during the visit. It wasn't rough. But I knew he'd have a little more swelling than he would have had it not been so difficult to remove. And he was just concerned that it was still a little sore. And he was a little swollen, and I explained that. And we gave him something to control the inflammation. And, all in all, he's fine and was happy. Also, right after that, at 11, we had a woman come in. She had been in a car accident. And we had started orthodontics on her. Then she got in a car accident, and it was a pretty bad car accident. Was hit by a truck, T-boned, and they had to intubate her. And in the process of intubating her, they wrenched her teeth. She was biting. Well, let's put it this way: she was in ICU, so it wasn't that. She was biting on the intubation tube for about 6 weeks, and what that did is it moved her teeth outward, like flared out like buck teeth, really buck teeth. Okay, if that wasn't bad enough. She had an episode where she was getting some scar tissue in her airway where they had done the tracheotomy, and was having an episode where she could barely breathe, and they had to intubate her again, and this time they did wrench her teeth. They actually broke one of the two, not the right front tooth, but the one to the right of it, actually snapped it off halfway up inside. It's one of the things that can happen when you're intubated, and it's not something that the hospital is obligated to reimburse you for. It just happens. And so anyway, she came in because it was time for us to, a week prior we had extracted that root tip. I visited her in the hospital, by the way, to see how she was doing, and I saw that they broke that tooth. And so we extracted the remnants of the tooth a week ago. We went ahead and put bone particles, bone graft in there, and then we stitched it up, and we repositioned the other tooth. It had come down out of the socket. I pushed it back up in, got her braces back on, and so she's back on the road to recovery, and it was really nice to see. So that looks like that takes me to another break. You're listening to The Reasons We Smile with Dr. Kvitko, and we'll be right back.
You can take me as I am, not just a little bit. I don't know who to be. I'm a paper cup, baby, on the sea. I know you see it too, 'cause you're too much for me.
This is Clark Kellogg. Stay tuned for more of Dr. Kvitko.
Estás escuchando con Dr. Kvitko aquí en su estación favorita.
Hi, I'm Dominique Reichert. Like what you hear? Why not use the show to promote your product or service by becoming a sponsor? Call 614-262-9588 to learn how. That's 614-262-9588. Call now.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kvitko, general dentist and host of the Reasons We Smile radio and roadshow. I've been honored to help several famous people get a perfect smile, like Keith Carlos and Dominique Reigard from America's Next Top Model, and Ted the Golden Voice Williams from right here in Columbus. Isn't it time you had a celebrity smile? It costs less than you might think, and most of the time, it can be done in one visit. A new smile can make a world of difference.
Visit worldsmostinterestingdentist.com for more info about Dr. Kvitko.
I'm Grandpa, and I go to Dr. Kvitko, and I still have all my teeth. Real ones. Where's my glasses?
If you're just joining us, I'm Dr. Kvitko. This is episode number 589 of The Reasons We Smile. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. We're in the process of doing a week in my life as a dentist, and we covered Monday and, by the way, Tuesday. That was really only a half day because I had an afternoon appointment I had to make, and so. But we're on to Wednesday now, and I have, I believe, some interesting things. You know, I've got this gentleman on 8 o'clock on Wednesday, and he just was recently diagnosed with cancer. He was sent to us by his physician, who said he had to get healthy before they could begin any chemotherapy or radiation therapy. They can't have any infections in his mouth or anywhere in his body for that matter. But he has no upper front teeth. All of his front four teeth have already been lost previously, and he wants to get front teeth. He wants to start feeling better about himself, and his lower front four are going to have to go as well. But we're going to get him on a plan. In fact, I think it's this Monday, tomorrow, that I'll be going over that plan with him. In the meantime, we had a gentleman come in. He's been having some pain on his top left, and we made him a bruxism appliance, which is a little bit like a mouth guard, but it's ground in a certain way for your bite. Well, he's pointing to the gum above two teeth as though it's rubbing, and at first we thought it was just rubbing. And then he came back another time and said, I can't wear this thing because it's hitting my gum, and I'd already ground it off and ground it even more, and I know it's not touching. So then I began looking really closely, and I think he has this condition called pemphigus erythematosus. And so it's an early stage, it's an acute stage, which means it hurts. And here's a case, and by the way, I've sent him to an oral pathologist, so he now has an appointment to go to an oral pathologist. And this particular disease process, if you will, it can be misdiagnosed very easily, and some people it takes 3 months to a year for somebody to get a correct diagnosis. So I hope I have the correct diagnosis, and I hope we get him fixed up, and we'll find out here in the next few weeks. Then I had a lady who is, she's heading on a trip, but she's having some discomfort on a lower cuspid, and she wanted to get it fixed before heading out of town. And so it turns out we found a cavity up underneath a filling. Showed on the x-ray that there was decay up in there. And there was a little bit of a darkness to the filling. It was one of those tooth-colored fillings. So sometimes when they turn brown, you don't necessarily blame it on decay. Sometimes you think it's just stain. In her case, it turned out to be a cavity, and it was nice to find. We did it with the laser. Again, no needles, no numbing. Well, there is numbing, but it's the laser that does it. And so we just cleaned that all out and fixed her up, and she was in great shape and happy to go on her vacation and not have to worry. Okay, another one that same day right after her, I did a little filling on a front tooth with the laser. Then this woman came in with lower left pain, and unfortunately, she wanted it extracted. And I say unfortunately because we can save that tooth. We could have saved it, but she's of a mindset, just pull it. And some people are like that. The problem is they get to a point where they don't have enough teeth left, and then they wish that they hadn't said pull it, in years gone by. Let's see. Okay, I'm just about out of time, and I'm not even done with Wednesday. So, anyway, you know what, real quick, because remember the woman I said had the hole underneath her crown, and I filled it without trying to do anything to hurt her crown? Well, guess what? She came back on Wednesday, and the porcelain on her crown had chipped, but it wasn't from where we touched it, it was up above. So here's what I think was happening. I think underneath her filling had given way. She'd gotten some decay that was under the crown. It started to shift. That explained the little gap that opened up, and I wound up having to do an entirely new crown. Okay, that's all I really have time for. So thanks to everybody for listening. Thanks for the folks that called in. Enjoy those flowers from DeSantis. I really appreciate DeSantis doing that for us. You guys go out and have a wonderful day. That's all the time we have. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. It's at Dr. Kvitko. And if you'd please go to my office Facebook page and like us, that would be awesome. It's Dr. Kvitko and Associates. Also, all past episodes, complete with video, are available at thereasonswesmile.com. Be sure to tune in next week and every week right here on your favorite station. Goodbye.
This is Carly Red from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, the hit show on VH1, urging you to tune in next week with my dentist, Dr. Kvitko.
If you're interested in learning more about this and other dental health topics, go to thereasonswesmile.com to access full episodes of Dr. Kvitko's show.
If you'd like Dr. Kvitko, the world's most interesting dentist, to speak at your next event, please call 614-262-9588. That's 614-262-9588, or send an email to speaking